Thanks so much. Once again, I'll thank everybody for coming here today. But before everybody goes, there's a recital of the Butcher's Dozen in the Glenflatta Park area. If everybody could move over there, please. Thank you very much.
And Dave Duggan and James King are now going to read The Butcher's Dozen by Thomas Kinsella, which is written shortly after the murders. And it'll be played against the background of an audio tape from that day that was made of the events that were unfolded on that afternoon. So we can have a couple of moments silence just for Dave Duggan and James King to read the poem. Thank you.
Callsign Bravo 3 has moved south down Strand Road into William Street past Barrier 14 and is at the junction Rossville Street, William Street. Callsign Bravo 59 has moved down south through the church to the area of William Street, directly south of the church. Roger to all that.
I went with anger at my heel through bogside of the bitter zeal. Jesus pity, on a day of cold and drizzle and decay. A month had passed, yet here remained a murder smell that stung and stained. On flats and alleys, over all it hung. On battered roof and wall, on wreck and rubbish scattered thick, on sullen steps and pitted brick. And when I came where 13 died, it shriveled up my heart. I sighed and looked about that brutal place of rage and terror and disgrace. Then my moistened lips grew dry. I heard an answering sigh. There in a ghostly pool of blood, a crumpled phantom hugged the mud.
Once there lived a hooligan, a pig came up and away he ran. Here lies one in blood and bones who lost his life for throwing stones.
More voices rose. I turned and saw 3 corpses forming, red and raw from dirt and stone. Each upturned face stared unseeing from its place.
Behind this barrier, blighters 3, we scrambled back and made to flee. The guns cried, "Stop!" and here lie we.
Then from left and right they came, more mangled corpses, bleeding, lame. Holding their wounds, they chose their ground, ghost by ghost, without a sound. And one stepped forward, soiled and white.
A bomber I travelled light, 4 pounds of nails and gelignite about my person, hid so well, they seemed to vanish where I fell. When the bullet stopped my breath, a doctor sought the cause of death. He upped my shirt, undid my fly, twice he moved my limbs awry, and noticed nothing. By and by, a soldier, with his sharper eye, beheld the 4 elusive rockets stuffed in my coat and trouser pockets. Yes, they must be strict with us, even in death so treacherous.
faded, and another said,
We three met close when we were dead. Into an armoured car they piled us, where our mingled blood defiled us. Certain, if not dead before, to suffocate upon the floor. Careful bullets in the back stopped our terrorist attack. And so 3 dangerous lives are done, judged, condemned, and shamed in one.
That spectre faded in his turn. A harsher stirred and spoke in scorn.
The shame is theirs in word and deed who prate of justice and practice greed, and act in ignorant fury then. Officers and gentlemen, sent to their courts for the Most High to tell us, did we really die? Does it need recourse to law to tell 10,000 what they saw? The news is out, the troops were kind, impartial justice has to find. We'd be alive and well today if we'd but let them have their way. But friend and stranger, bride and brother, son and sister, father, mother, all not blinded by your smoke, photographers who caught your stroke, the priest that blessed our bodies spoke and wagged our blood in the world's face. The truth will out to your disgrace.
He flushed and faded, pale and grim. A joking spectre followed him.
Take a bunch of stunted shoots, a tangle of transplanted roots, ropes and rifles, feathered nests, some dried colonial interests, a hard unnatural union born in a bed of blood and bone, tongue of serpent, gut of hog, spiced with spleen of underdog, stir in with oaths of loyalty, sectarian supremacy, and heat to make a proper botch in a bouillon of bitter scotch. Last, the choice ingredient, you. Now, to crown your Irish stew, boil it over, make a mess, a most imperial success.
Get on the corner of
A car just pulled up to block figures 20. In the car was one dead man and one wounded man. He is being sent now to this location so that Starlight can have a look at him before transferring on to Alton Urban Hospital.
He capered weakly, racked with pain, his dead hair plastered in the rain. The group was silent once again. It seemed the moment to explain that sympathetic politicians say our violent traditions, backward looks and bitterness keep us in this dire distress. We must forget and look ahead, nurse the living, not the dead. My words died out, a phantom said.
Here lies one who breathed his last, firmly reminded of the past. A trooper did it on one knee, in tones of brute authority.
That harsher spirit who before had flushed with anger spoke once more.
Simple lessons cut most deep. This lesson in our hearts we keep. You condescend to hear us speak only when we slap your cheek, and yet we lack the last technique. We rap for order with a gun, the issues simplify to one. Then your democracy insists you mustn't talk with terrorists. White and yellow, black and blue have learned their history from you. Divide and ruin, muddled through, we speak in wounds. Behold this mess, my curse upon your politesse.
The priest is in at the moment.
Shooting, while Corsair in Quebec 2-3 has had one low-velocity shot fired at them from Charlotte Street, hit one of our soldiers in flak jacket. We don't believe he's a casualty. One round was returned, no hit. Subsequent to that, Corsair in Quebec 2-1 had one round fired at him and 2 shots were returned. And no casualties on either side. Over. That's here, Roger.
Here. That's what you for taking the photos. That's what you for taking the photos, Cole. That's what you for taking the photos, Cole.
Yes, I know.
You got it. You shouldn't have gotten in the window. I'm here to sign in our woman. I'm here to sign in our woman.
4253, 1589er at 16:45 hours. Wait. One round returned at the gun spotted there, but no hit claimed. Over. Hello, this is 5-4 Alpha. One dead person who has returned to this location has a nail bomb in his pocket. We request Felix to come down and sort it out. Over.
Another ghost stood forth and wept dead lips that had not spoken yet.
My curse on the cunning and the bland, on gentlemen who loot a land they do not care to understand, who keep the natives on their paws with ready lash and rotten laws. Then, if the beasts erupt in rage, give them a slightly larger cage, and in scorn and fear combined, turn them against their own kind. The game runs out of room at last. A people rises from its past, the going gets unduly tough, and you have surely had enough. The time has come to yield your place with condescending show of grace, an empire builder handing on. We reap the ruin when you've gone, all your errors heaped behind you, promises that do not bind you, hopes in conflict, cramped commissions, fates exploited and traditions.
Bloody sputum filled his throat. He stopped and coughed to clear it out, and finished with his eyes aglow.
You came, you saw, you conquered, so you gorged, and it was time to go. Good riddance. We'd forget, released, but for the rubbish of your feast, the slops and scraps that fell to earth and sprang to arms in dragon birth, sashed and bowler-hatted glum, apprentices of fife and drum, high and dry abandoned guards of dismal streets and empty yards, drilled at the code word true religion, to strut and mutter like a pigeon, not an inch, of the Queen, who use their walls like a latrine for scribbled magic. At their call, straight from the nearest music hall, Pope and devil intertwine. 2 cardboard kings appear and join in one more battle by the Boyne. Who could love them, God above?
Yet pity is akin to love.
The 13th corpse beside him said, smiling in its bloody head,
And though there's reason for alarm and dourness and a lack of charm, their cursed plight calls out for patience. They, even they, with other nations have a place, if we can find it. Love our changeling, guard and mind it. Doomed from birth, the cursed heir, theirs is the hardest lot to bear, yet not impossible, I swear. If England would but clear the air and brood at home on her disgrace, everything to its own place, face their walls of dole and fear, and be of reasonable cheer. Good men every day inherit father's foulness with the spirit. Purge the filth and do not stir it. Let them out. At least let in a breath or two of oxygen, so they may settle down for good and mix themselves in the common blood. We all are what we are, and that is mongrel pure. What nations not, where any stranger hung his hat and seized a lover where she sat?
What did you say? We saw the fella when he stamped the flag. I know. And he was running against the other and he was shot and fell. And he moved his arm and he shot another bullet on them. I'm not one ticket, I can hear him. The fella's calling for help.
Hello, Zero, this is Louis Zero Alpha. We reported shooting at a gunman in a factory junction, Hemisphere Fulton Street at 16:40 hours. This was wrong. He was shot at 16:56 and a man was seen to fall over. Zero, Roger. Zero, this is Louis Zero Alpha. There's some photographers at the hospital flats taking photographs of a civil rights banner covered in blood over. Zero, Roger.
Shot there today. His friend, his work man shot there today. A man of 60-something shot there.
It will go around the world, you know. It's the beginning of the actual, then they can't do that. Don't rely on Dublin. Don't rely on Dublin. I know you're right. Mama, don't mind.
She doesn't right now. Shut it right
He ceased and faded, Zephyr blew, and all the others faded too. I stood like a ghost, my finger strayed along the fatal barricade. The gentle rainfall drifting down over Column Killer's top.